Have you ever thought about using trading bots? I used Bitsgap in the last bull market and turned $1,000 into $50,000 within a 5-month period. I documented the whole process and put it in a playlist if you want to see that, along with other training videos and tutorials how to set bots up and make the most of the volatility of the crypto market. If you sign up with a link in the description, you'll get a 7 days free trial with no obligation to continue, and you can also use a demo account within Bitsgap so you don't have to risk your own capital. Bitsgap! Hello everybody, welcome back. So it's Tuesday now, so if there's going to be some kind of move in the market, it often happens on a Tuesday, to be honest with you, I recognise that. But not only because of that, because that's no way to trade whatsoever, it's because of what I can see on these charts. Now, when I'm talking about a move, I'm talking probably a small one, in all fairness. So just like we've been saying since the breakdown, we're probably going to have these little moves up, little moves down, and stay within this range at the moment. Now, based around the daily for Bitcoin, we've reclaimed a 50 exponential moving average, which is still, technically, you have to say the word, bullish. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to say it because obviously we're expecting this to be a top. But yeah, I mean, this is a trend which is still in play. But on the higher time frames and obviously for the major resistance and things like that, I just don't really see it going too much higher, or maybe even getting back up to that $48,000 zone. But it could. And it's the same as yesterday and the day before and the day before that, and every day that we've basically been down below this area. The Bollinger Band Center is now below 44,000, which is basically where this bounce is likely to find its next top. There is really nothing going on here, to be honest with you. So that would be either a rejection at 43,005 or 43,900. It's not even getting to the 44,000. So, yeah, even though a bounce can happen, it's looking for a rejection. The 200 exponential on the 4-hourly is 43,200. Then we've got 43,005 as the simple moving average. And the 50 exponential is at 43,007. So all of these areas where we're going to likely find rejection, if not already. But we have, over the last 24 hours, reclaimed the Bollinger Band Center, which is now pointing up. So, I think that there is a likely chance of a move up before any kind of rejection. Now, if we break above these areas, then excellent. And then we could probably be looking for moves all the way up to 45, maybe 45 and a half. But until we see it, I'm not really feeling that. The momentum's okay on the 4-hourly, suggesting further upside can happen. We had the bullish divergence, which led to this bounce around here. And we've had continued moves up on momentum of all directions. But the volume is trickling down low again. So I'm not really feeling it, to be honest with you. It's certainly not something I'm looking to play. Like I said before I sold the top, I said, look, this is the plan. Sell around here. Stand back, watch and wait. Even if I'm expecting something like a 5 to even 50% move on well, it wouldn't be on Bitcoin, but on altcoins particularly, I'm not interested in trying to play that, unless of course it's from a lower area and it's the support is strong and the momentum suggests a decent chance of success. At the moment, you try and play this, you get a small move up to what could be a dramatic move down. You don't want to get stuck in that kind of setup. Ethereum is slightly better, I have to say, though, and if there was a trade to make, it would be more appealing to try it on Ethereum. Obviously, we've had this consolidation, which looks like it's broken now. It's also trying to reclaim a Bollinger Band Center on the 4-hourly. Had nothing more than a golden cross retest on the exponential, on that 50 exponential, so that's all quite good. So Ethereum actually does look good here to make a V-shaped recovery, at least to the candle body highs, 26,000... I wish. 2,660. That looks like that's more than likely to happen. It's still not matured enough for momentum, but if you would, I like to make the analogy, there's a gun to my head, I have to make a trade, it's either in or out, what am I going to do? I would make the trade and I would have the exit point around 26,000. Again, I would never exit that trade, would I? Be in this for decades. 2,600. It would be my exit point. And it can obviously go higher because this sort of setup doesn't usually offer a V-shaped recovery and then some. So Ethereum does look okay. It does look better than Bitcoin. Even the daily over here is pretty good. Moved down into basically a 10 exponential. We've still got a trend signal in play. So actually 2,600 is probably the right thing to do. But also expectations of it moving higher is not unlikely either. So I would not fault anybody for trying to trade Ethereum. And if you're going to try and trade Ethereum, you might as well try and trade other altcoins. Again, that's not for me to advise, because that's not my advice. But if we're looking at the Ethereum to Bitcoin pair, that's also good. We've broken above all moving averages at this point now, trending up higher, not overexposed. I mean, overheated on momentum or money flow or anything, with a view to probably get a rejection around the 0.064. So not too bad. Not too bad. So Ethereum is if anything, the one to look at. Now, we'll end on this, because again, there's nothing much more to say. It's just I'm just like an echo chamber of the previous video, but because that's what the market is like. You know, the market doesn't necessarily maintain its exciting moves every single day. In fact, I'll probably say it's pretty boring and stuff, and that's fine by me, because obviously I'm pretty much out of this market at the moment, looking for much lower later on. But if we're looking at the Dixie here, there is a chance of a rejection around here. So Dixie is finding a resistance zone between the 50 exponential and the 200 exponential, which in real terms, price action wise, from where we're at right now, it's going to be a combination of either literally a fraction of a percent to as much as just 0.5% before a rejection. Death cross retest all the way back down again. That is the way it is. There's nothing more to say about it than that. If we take it over to the weekly, there is a chance that we do continue higher before a really big resistance, which is all the way back up here at 104.3. I, again, am not particularly sold on any of this. I still think it's a time to reassess any kind of particular bias, because even though the charts are offering, you know, a bit of a rejection this week on the Dixie and a bit of upside on crypto and probably stocks and everybody else, I feel as though the top has effectively been formed on Bitcoin, and even though that there can easily be more upside on Ethereum and altcoins, I still don't think it's enough. It's not enough. The upside is not enough to attract me into any sort of major trade. If anything, what I would be looking to do next is waiting for a more convincing breakdown on the market and play one of those everything bounces. So if that's new to you, the concept of the everything bounce, we managed to get 2 everything bounces out of crypto and 3 everything bounces out of the stock market on the downtrend. We managed to do it. It was pretty awesome. So this is your everything bounce part 1, whoosh, everything bounce part 2, whoosh. Doesn't look like much, but it was. It's more evident on the S&P, and again, yeah, I'm not asking you to go back in time and watch my videos, but we got the everything bounce 1, 2, and 3, and basically at this point here, when we created the higher low, this is where I allocated enormous amounts of funds into the stock market, mostly tech, nothing special, stuff like Meta, Tesla, Salesforce, stuff like that. Some crypto-related stocks, but I'm all out of those, obviously. So that's the sort of vibe we'd be looking for. That is the sort of market that I'm looking to play. And obviously, when you're doing it like that, you are doing it over a long period of time. Now, obviously, this took a very long time. This is like a year in the making. I don't think it would be this long for crypto. I think it's going to consolidate probably between 2 to as many as maybe even 8 months, to be honest. At this stage now, until we see the consolidation or we see the momentum, we can't really believe in any particular time frame looking forward. All we can do is assume that the consolidation is going to happen, and then look at the state of the consolidation as it's happening. Because the thing is, you'll notice this in crypto more than most markets, I imagine, but it does happen in a lot of markets, is that when a consolidation's happening for an asset or a stock that somebody wants, then what you'll start to see is that on its way down, especially as it's approaching major supports, FUD will start to kick in. You'll hear all kinds of news stories like, oh, XYZ is going to do XYZ, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. This is blah for the market, and blah, blah, blah. Now, that obviously is just noise, and it's intentional, clearly, because the idea is that we want the market to go down. I want it to go down. Everybody will want it to go down, but some people, some powerful people, and some powerful forces actually have the capacity to force it down. And that's probably what's going to start to happen. So as we consolidate naturally, unnatural forces will arise and boot it down the stairs more and more. And as much as we'll be looking at this and going, I'll tell you what, that is a strong support. I'm going to have a little bit of Bitcoin here. I'm going to buy Bitcoin at 37,000. I'm going to buy it there. No, actually, and if it comes down, no big deal. I'm going to buy it at 31,000 and blah, blah, blah. That's all good. And I'm all up for that. But I tell you, as we approach these, just keep your ears out for what someone is going to do and say, because these are the areas where, as much as we can be bullish on the charts, there's basically a huge liquidity pool here. There's a massive amount of buy orders here, and those will be liquidated by the FUD. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. A bit of hocus pocus, non-TA, it's just anecdotal observations of being in these markets for many, many years. That's normally the thing that will happen. So I don't expect it to be any different. In fact, I imagine it to be much bigger now that the institutions have officially got into the game, because this is exactly what they do. This is what they do. Right, so I'll leave it with you there. If you want to join the Patreon, we've got a live stream on tonight, like we do every Tuesday and Friday. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description below. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.